Hi friends, it's Mrs. R, your co-video substitute teacher. Today we're going to do some math, and it's actually going to be active. Usually when we do math, we're sitting pretty still at our desk, maybe at a computer. This is going to be different. We're going to be moving around. I have a version for like inside, and I have a much movier version that you might want to be doing outside. Don't make your parents mad. Here we go. Here's what you're going to need though, is you're going to need a deck of cards. You either need just a regular old deck of cards, ask your parents, they may have one, or if you have an Uno deck, it will work with that too. And I'll explain the Uno thing a little bit later. But I want you to understand more people actually tend to have decks of cards than necessarily have Uno decks, because parents almost always have a deck of cards. Ask if you can borrow them and play with them. Okay, and when you do, you first need to sort through, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to sort it in two piles. One pile is going to have number cards, has a number and some kind of shape on it, right? The other pile is what we call face cards. And these are face cards. They call them that because they have a face on it. Yeah, king, queen, and this is called a jack, J for jack. The reason I'm having you sort these is you don't need these. Put the face cards to the side. The other kind, by the way, that might confuse you are what's called aces, and they actually just mean the number one. And you can tell because it literally just has one on there, right? This has 9 diamonds. This just has one. So even though it has an A instead of a number one, it still just counts as a number one, okay? And another thing you need to know is that for some reason, it's a long story, what's called this little shape here, we call that a spade. You can just call it a black upside down heart, whatever. But this one, the ace of spades often looks really different, but it still just means one. It means one of the black upside down hearts, right? These also go in your deck because they're a number. They're one, but they're a number. The faces you're going to leave out of this. Older kids, stay tuned because I do have a version where you can use the faces. Now, what you need is to make a list now. I've made one for you that we can look at. And because not everybody knows the name of what we call the suits, they're called suits, by the way, but not everybody knows that name. So I actually drew a picture. Heart, diamond. This thing is called clubs, and this is called spades. You can call it little puppy dog toes, black upside down heart, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you call them. But you need a list of what you do when you see them. We'll get to this. Deck of cards. For the red heart, we're going to clap your hands. This, the diamond, click your tongue. What I mean is to go. If you can't do that, that's okay. Go da, 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 or ma, ma, doesn't matter. Some sound, okay? If you can't click your tongue, you still get to do this game. Next one says clap your knees. So this is to clap your hands. That's clapping your knees, okay? And the last one says fist to chest. This is like a gorilla move. You can do it 2 hands. Either way, that was 3, right? It's important that you be able to count them. This is a counting game. That's how it works as math. Okay, so what you do, you can deal out cards and everybody plays the card out of their hand, or you can simply flip the top one on the deck. It's your turn, so this is yours. Ooh, it's hearts. And we said that was clap your hands. So we can see that number is 5. If you get on a number, you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also great for subitizing, by the way, where we look at it real quick and go 5. Remember, we've done games with the dice that way. Point is, once you see it though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your turn. So you pull the next card. The next card is diamonds. That one was click your tongue 10 times. Oh, I wish I'd stacked this deck. So you'd go. So. Is anybody counting that? Did I do that right? Because if I didn't, I don't get to keep this card. Oh, did I do it right? If I did, card goes in my pile. I did it right. You have to do it fast too. You can't sit there and do it forever. If I got it wrong, card goes into what we call a discard pile. Nobody gets that card, okay? So you did 5 claps. You keep this card in front of you. At the end of the game, we can see who has the most cards. You'll have to count the cards too. 1, 2, 3. You'll have to do that, right? So it's called clubs, little clover leaf, whatever you want to call it. It says 6, and clover leaf was clap your knees. Whew, I got it. I keep that card. That's going to be my point. Next turn, you pick it up and you get keeper. That's your point. You go around. And like I said, if you mess one up, because you're like, I know it's funny. Got it. Oh, no, that was 2. I didn't get the point. You just go through the deck like that. Okay? Now, if you can go outside, or if you have like a playroom or something where your parents don't care if you go crazy in, you can do something more active. Like, let's look at this list. For hearts, you're going to jump. That 5 of hearts meant 1, 2, 3. I cannot jump in here. The camera is just going to go nuts if I try. This one, touch your toes. Bend over and touch those toes. This one is jumping jacks. Oh, those are big, right? That's why outside is better. And the last one says march step. So you would pick your feet up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many it is, right? If you do it the right number, because everybody's watching you in this game. Now, you can still do it with yourself and just see how fast. Try to supersize it and then do it. And then double check it with your counting. You could try that. It's not impossible to play by yourself, but it is more fun to play if you have other people in your house that you can play with. See if your mom or dad are playing. Now, I said I would also show you if it was Uno. It's the exact same thing. Look, I wrote, clap your hands, click your tongue, clap your knees, fist to chest. But this time I just color-coded it. In an Uno deck, you have colors. They have numbers on each one, but they have colors. Now, you're saying, wait, they don't all have numbers, Mrs. R. There are skips, there's reverses, there's draw twos. Here's how you work that. You can take them out just like you do the face cards, right? And just take them out of the deck. You'll have to sort the deck first. You can do that. The other way is you play with those rules. So if it says skip, you don't get a turn, it goes to you. It's going to be harder to keep all our points in front of us if we get skipped. I didn't get a turn. There wasn't even a way for me to try to get a point. Ooh, vicious. But sometimes vicious is fun in a game, right? Now for the draw twos, that means that person will have to draw 2 cards and do both those things. So let's say they had a red 2 and a green 3. We'll just keep the numbers low for this. That means they would have to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. If they manage to do it, they get to keep both cards. So in this game, giving somebody a draw 2 isn't actually as mean as it is in Uno, but it's another way to play the game. You can play it with an Uno deck. It's actually super fun to do this. Now, somebody out there is like, man, I want to play the vicious rules. If you're older, I know that's what you're saying, right? You're like, I don't have an Uno deck. That's where the face cards come back in. Remember I told you we'd have a use for those? What you'll do is you'll decide on the colors that any red face card, that's hearts or diamonds. Do I have diamonds there? Doesn't matter. Red face card. There's a diamond. There it is, poking up back. The red will mean reverse or skip. You pick. Decide that ahead of time and write it down so nobody says, no, that's not what you said. You could be like, that's absolutely what I said because I wrote it right here. That's why I was covering that little part. So if you're older, you can use the face cards and then red becomes reverse, black becomes skip, okay? And that way you can reverse it to try and get extra turns, to skip other people, okay? So that becomes red reverse, black skip. In which case there's no draw twos, unless you wanted to make the aces a draw 2. That would be an option you could do. Because it has an A, it's not like a regular number. So you could decide, okay, we'll make anything that says A a draw 2. But here's the thing, you have to write it down. You all have to agree ahead of time. If like 3 people are like, we don't want to do that, and you're the only one saying yes, you're about to be playing by yourself because they don't want to do that. Try to work together. Ooh, teamwork. Ooh, with my brothers and sisters? Yes, It'll be more fun if you play together. But that's a way that you can use the actual face cards to do it that way, okay? Now, so you need a list or an Uno list, either way. You can also use the more active, please be outside when you do this. Your mother's going to go crazy if you're jumping in the living room and she's trying to watch TV. Figure it out. You can add the face cards and make them red for reverse and black for skip. And that'll make it harder for people to collect those points. It makes a really nice game. There is one other way to do this, but you need everybody who's playing the game to be older. And that's the It Takes Two. And here's how that works. Is you pull a card, the next person pulls a card. Let's get 2 cards here. And you guys have to work together. Now, you're not going to be doing 9 and 5 is 14. You're not going to be doing 14. Or excuse me, you're not going to be doing 9 of these and 5 of these. You can do it in 14, but each of you have to do it. Okay? So you have to very quickly do this and they do that, and that's adding. If you're much older, you can actually try multiplying, and then it's going to get crazy. But if you both do it as a team, same time, you each get to keep a card, okay? You each get a point for that. And that's the It Takes Two version. That is going to be for much older kids, all right? The It Takes Two is much more complicated, but it can be done if you're all older. So you're going to have to be at least 3rd grade up probably to do that, because that requires a certain amount of teamwork and you have to think that math through, either addition or multiplication if you're even older than that. But you could do it. That would be the much more complicated way, but it is kind of boss. I'm just saying. Anyways, so draw your card. Do the activity that's set on the sheet. The outside one or the inside one. You can do the inside one outside too. You can still clap outside, that's fine. But you have to very quickly look at it. Look at that number. Count those things, however you want to do it. And make sure you do the right activity. If I saw this and I start clapping, oh, those aren't claps. Those were fist bumps. I did the wrong thing. I don't get the point. See how many you can collect. See how fast you can do the activity. Get some brothers and sisters together or try it with mom or dad, because watching mom click her tongue like 9 times is going to be kind of funny, right? Yeah, it's going to be kind of funny. Let's see how well you do. Thanks.